Hello everybody, welcome back to 305 Vox Populi. My name is Michael Zaldivar and I'm your host, and here we have Carmen Crespi and Maria Briceno.
Hello.
She created Lakes Orthodontics and Lakes Family Eye Care. There we go, I got it down. Hello guys, it's nice to see you. You were my personal doctor for when I did my retainers. It sucked. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sucked. It hurt a lot.
That bad.
The first,
Look at your smile.
Yeah,
You have a beautiful smile.
the first time I tried it, like it hurt a lot. It hurt like really, really bad. But honestly, I'm a lot happier for it because I got a good smile now. Hopefully. So just right off the rip, why did you guys start what you did? Like, what was the inspiration behind it? What was the backstory to making the orthodontics and the eye care? Like, what inspired you guys?
So we come from a family where both of our parents were dentists in Venezuela. So I think just the healthcare field has always been part of our life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm older than my little sister here, and so I'm 3 years ahead of her. And so when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do for the future, I always liked dentistry.
And I was the rebel. I liked eyeballs instead.
She's not a big fan of teeth. So then we both went on and got our careers, and we both actually practiced outside of Miami Lakes when we first got out. And we're both, were raised here in Miami Lakes, and we love our town, and we wanted to give back. And so I decided to open up Lakes Orthodontics first, and then
I did
she
Lakes
followed
Family
suit.
Eye Care. But I did practice here I've been practicing here for 17 years, so.
Wow, okay, so
Yeah.
for a while, yeah. Okay, so like were your parents like the ones who were like, you should go study this, or
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
The only thing that they really instilled in us was to make sure that we got a good education, to not take for granted, what our future was going to hold. So to not live by the seat of our parents, but instead try and plan out for the future and to try and create a successful one.
Gotcha. How is it that it started? Like, how is it that you guys came to have your own businesses in the first place? Like, was this just like a decision that one day just happened, or like there was like something behind it?
For me, I used to practice with my mentor down south, and I was quite content doing that for a long time. My best friend is also an orthodontist, and we're with the Three Musketeers. My other friend is a pediatric dentist up in Tampa. And so they had their own offices, and I was able to see what it was like to kind of not just be a doctor, but also kind of run your own business. And it became very appealing to me, and the freedom that they had in terms of, I show up to all of my kids' rehearsals. I'm able to be there at all the mothers' breakfasts and all the, all the different events that happen in the school that before I wasn't able to be there for. So once I had children, that became, a priority for me. My children are. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I decided to endeavor into opening up a practice.
Wow.
And then I followed after. So I had been practicing in a group practice here in Miami Lakes, and it was great. And same idea. Once I had the kids, I wanted to have that flexibility to be able to be there with them. And so I saw her doing it, and she was my mentor at that time. And, she helped me kind of get everything started so that I could open up. But it was my plan all along since day one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So like the lakes, you guys both have lakes in your name. Is that like part of like now like this joint venture? Is it like just each is
Miami Lakes.
separate?
It's Miami
This
Lakes,
is our community, and we
Interesting.
love it here. And our
this
kids
is
go
their
to
home.
school here, and
Yeah.
it's our home, and it's where we were raised, and where we feel comfortable. And we've seen families since,
Yeah, we both have been out since 2007.
Yeah, so 17 years.
Oh, I was
It's been-
born. Wow. So
Yeah.
a little
God, thank you, Michael.
I'm sorry. So the kids were like kind of the inspiration and the drive behind it,
I would say so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So did having kids want you, like, did it make you want to specifically focus like with them? Like, just now that I have my own child, I see how important it is that they have everything in check.
Yeah, I think just wanting to not miss out on the important times, like you guys
It
grew up
was-
too
yeah.
fast. Like, it's just too
It was
fast.
too fast.
Gotcha.
I mean, my newborn baby's not going to be 7, that happened yesterday.
Wow.
It just goes by so fast that it was a very important part for me personally to just be able to be there for all their special moments that I never got a chance,
I see.
And hopefully it'll motivate them to
Yeah,
one
you
day,
never know.
My parents
Kinda
were the
see
same way actually. My parents were the same way actually. That's why they did like the school that they have now. That they didn't want to miss out on me growing up, and they were like, we want to see him grow. and you know, we want to see other kids grow up, you know,
Right.
and you know, like give them the best education we could. But yeah, wow, I can see where you guys are coming from there. What do you guys hope for the future? You guys hope to stay local, or do you guys hope to like go out to, I don't know, Pembroke Pines or whatever, or just
I
wanna focus in the
personally-
town?
Not an option.
That is not something that I want to
I
do.
foresee.
Like it's not something in my foreseeable future. I like to stay local, boutique-y, get
Yeah.
back to my specific community. I don't want to be.
Quality over quantity.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe one day in the future.
Yes, maybe if our children become
Children.
follow suit, or my
Right.
nieces,
Yeah.
and
Instead of
then
lakes, it's Miami orthodontics. Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be interesting. That'd
so
be interesting.
maybe it maybe our future generations that come, need for something like that. But for right now, no. I like
Yeah.
just being here.
What is it that, say, a future orthodontist or a future person in eye care, like, what would be something you guys would look for in them to come work for your business? Like, what's like a quality that you think that every orthodontist or pediatric orthodontist, or what's it called, like eye care specialist, what do you guys really look for?
For me personally, if I ever were to bring someone, I feel like they really need to be not just driven by the financial aspect of orthodontics. Like, I think we're lacking the care and the customer service, and instead of wanting to open up a bunch of practices and just kind of, treat without making that personal connection with patients. Like, that to me is not how I run my practice. I want to, kind of get to know the patients, see you growing up, like look at you here now, like just seeing the generations and all the kids grow up, like that to me is very important. I think we're lacking that in our profession currently. Like, it's just become more of a, let's just open up a bunch of practices, let's go here, let's go there, but never really just focus.
So you're saying more doing it for the love of that thing, and not simply for the
Yeah.
financial
For the passion
aspect
of the
it.
field, correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh.
And same here. Like, we're both very passionate in what we do, and to me, having a good bedside manner. These are people that, again, I see as kids, and now I get to see them as they're elderly. I see their grandmother, their their tia, their abuelo, everybody. You know what I mean? Like, so you connect, yes, and it's something that I've instilled since day one, and that's what I hope the future generation of optometry continues to do, because again, it has turned into just production, and corporate, and we like that whole family community.
Just getting a bang for your buck,
Yeah.
basically. And I can see where you're coming from with the whole community aspect, because I mean, you were my orthodontist. I'm never gonna forget. I'm never gonna forget that face. I would go in and be like, "Hi guys, that's what we're doing." Michael, come on up, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, they gotta tweak it just a little bit more. I'll put another rubber band on." But no, I like you. My parents would talk to you. Like everyone started to know each other. Yeah, and I feel like that is an important thing, because everywhere, at least whenever I went, it was always a very welcome feeling.
No.
I was a little like, but you guys were really nice. You guys were really nice and very
Good to hear.
very homey. Yeah.
Very good.
Let's see. What else have I in mind? Oh, okay. Yes. For your children, do you guys also try to show them the importance of what you guys do? Like, do you guys? I know that they're now 7, right? And do you have
7
other
and
children
9.
as well?
7 and 8. I mean, well,
7 and
almost
8?
7 and 8, so 6 and 8.
Do you guys have like a bring your kid to work day? And
Well,
you
it
guys-
actually
Yeah,
just
we just
happened
did it,
recently,
yeah.
Really?
We just had it. Well, Bob Graham, both our girls go to Bob Graham,
Mhm.
and they had the take your child to work day. And so my girls do come to the office. I work some Saturdays, so my girls come to the office like after work, and they look to see what we're doing. And I think they appreciate that we are working moms, but we're also very devoted moms.
That's
So,
good.
I think it's
They see our
good to
hard
instill
work,
them. Yeah.
but they know that we're always present.
You
right?
see a
Okay.
future, what's it called?
I hope
You
so.
hope-
Yes,
Hope so.
I
I
hope
mean,
so.
if it works. I'm not gonna push my children.
No,
Like
they
They
whatever.
can do what they would like, but
Yeah, whatever
But
they.
it'll be
If
If they
Perfect.
choose to, you're there for them.
we're gonna be super happy
You're
about
gonna
it.
be there
Yes.
for them,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Do you guys typically look for, say, actually no, how do you guys connect with the younger audience? I would say, like, how do you guys reach out to people and say, hey, I think you guys should really look into braces, or you guys should look into checking out your eyes, because it's something where you need to have reach for it. Now I feel like in the modern era, you always need to have a reach for a younger audience, always. I mean, and even for this, with the podcast, we try to target both adults and youth. But, you know, how do you guys reach out to younger people and be like, hey, you know, you guys should be interested in what we're doing here?
I mean, I think, you know, healthcare is something that it's always needed, okay? You know, it's, I don't know how to explain it, like, they, you know, either whether they're having, for me in my case, it's like whether they're having trouble seeing, you know, or anything like that, I'm just kind of like making them aware just the importance of getting examined, even if they don't have any visual issues. Once they're in the office, you know, it's easy. We're there. We always encourage them to, you know, get examined, even again if they're not having any problems at all. But you know, glasses, for example, it's a beautiful thing. If they're, you know, if they need to wear glasses, they have the option of like wearing contact lenses, you know, or just trying to control their myopia. You know, things like that, so that way, you know, they have the confidence if they're, you know, they're playing sports and they cannot use, you know, glasses for that, you know, that there are different options and not to be, you know, ashamed or anything like that. But, you know, it's just treat them with kindness. That's
Yeah, for ortho, you know, we're kind of in the job of making beautiful smiles, right? And a smile is what sets you apart half of the time. Just if you have beautiful teeth and a beautiful smile, all of a sudden people are just more like drawn to you, you know, it just creates a different type of, you know, feel. And a lot of times we see these kids, we usually, for us, it's a little bit easier right now because we have children, that we do get exposed to a lot of kids, but usually we start with the schools, you know, so in the schools, every time they have career day or every time they have like, you know, dental or orthodontic month or whatever it is, we try to reach out to the schools so that way we can try and educate them as to when they should be checked. Like we should be following them for ortho. We should start seeing them at the age of 7, 8, which is not what people normally think of when they think of braces.
I was very late to that. Yeah.
Well, most of the time we don't start you guys until you guys are adolescents, right? Or you know, around 11 to 13 years old. But we start seeing kids at around 7 or 8, not because we're going to do anything, but there's a lot of things that we can prevent that if you don't treat early on can cause serious problems down the line. So we always like to see kids at around 7 or 8 so that way we can see, okay, is everything going how it's supposed to? If it's going how it's supposed to, we just follow you. We just monitor you and just see how teeth are coming in and so forth. And then we treat once the permanent teeth are in. But most kids don't know that. And so going to the schools and to the events and things that just happen in our community that has to do with the healthcare, you know, that's how you education, It's just a matter of educating people.
In your educational experience, because it's something that I've always wondered, but I've never really had the chance to look up. Now that you're here, it's perfect. When children's teeth come in at an early age, would you say that something like the way that it comes out is more genetic, or is it like created by some other factor, by diet?
It's a combination. So, for example, if there's no habits, then the genetic aspect has a lot to do with the size of the teeth, the size of the jaws, like what they're going to look like, even the anatomy of the teeth. But there are certain external things that can affect, say, for example, the way you grow. So if you're a thumb sucker, it's going to completely alter the way that your mouth develops and what your teeth look like. Also, airway problems. If you are a kid who's constantly with allergies and you can't breathe through your nose or things like that. Right. So those are things that, if caught early on, which usually gets caught sometime with a pediatric dentist. So obviously we keep a close relationship with our pediatric dentist and our dentist in general. But it's that the fact that I can actually affect the way a kid grows or alter a bad grower into a better grower by just changing some of the external things that can influence those things.
I see. That's very interesting. I had a friend like that when he was very little. He had this bad habit when he would suck his thumb, and sure enough, his teeth came out like, you know, they came out more fun. And thankfully, you know, he got braces as well. So now, you know, it's all done and taken care of. But yeah, no, I've seen it growing up. Yeah, there's some effects with that. And for eyes, like, would you say that, because now, you know, everyone has this, like, all these parents, they're like, don't be on the screen too much, like, don't play with the lights off, you're gonna go blind. Is there some science behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, our eyes are not designed to be focused at near all day long. Okay, so what happens is, when we are focusing at near, think of it, your muscles are activated the entire time. So what it leads to a lot of eye strain, and it can cause myopia, which is having trouble seeing far away, progress very rapidly. So we encourage, every 20 minutes, take a break, look at a distance so that you can relax the muscles in the eyes. And screen time makes you get dry eye strain. People don't blink as much. Okay, so you're like you end up blinking 50% less than what you should be. So it does affect it. During the pandemic, it was horrible. We had so many issues. Even patients who did not have an actual visual problem, but they were having a lot of eye strain, and then it did cause the myopia to get worse over time. So play outside. I always tell play outside is the best thing that you can do, okay? Because the studies have shown that playing outside is going to help so that, your vision doesn't get worse over time. But it is true.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. Good to know my mom isn't just not getting out of the computer. Okay, that's good. No, and I've seen things like that happen to me. Like, for example, say I'm like doing like a project at school. I stay up late at night. My eyes are
on fire.
On fire. Quite literally, I blink my eyes and it still hurts. Yeah. So, okay, well, there you go. So truth finally revealed. Myth busted.
Yeah.
Let's see. Education-wise, how did you guys did you guys study here in Miami, or did you guys go to get your certifications in, say, another state or something like that?
So I did undergrad here in FIU, in Florida International University, and then I did graduate school in Boston. So I did 4 years over there, and then I came right back.
Would you say that your time in both those schools was like essential to what your practice today, or do you think that maybe like on the field, like studying under people, you got more like knowledge?
To me, it was great. My experience overall, I learned so much over there. But yes, once you're out in that clinical practice, it's something, that you gain over time. But schooling for me was amazing. It was a great experience. I would recommend it to everybody if they were able to go away at some point during graduate school. It's a good way of kind of growing up and learning some independence that that I needed for sure.
Yeah.
Because I did stay here for undergrad and I was not ready to leave. So it was great. Yeah.
Okay. And yourself?
So I went to undergrad at University of Miami. I actually started at Dade and then transferred to Miami. And then I did dental school in Florida, Gainesville, University of Florida. And then I did ortho at Baylor College of Dentistry. So for ortho, you need, besides your undergrad and your dental degree, then you need a residency. So typically that's usually between 2 to 3 years. I think that in terms of education, I loved my education. Baylor, where I did my ortho, gave us a lot of different perspectives on the field, different ways of treating, different, types of brackets, methods. So I feel like my education for what I do now was invaluable, and it creates a good, stable baseline, right? But 100% absolutely, once you get out into the real world, it's a whole nother learning. But if you don't have the foundation, I'm not sure that you'd be able to pick up on all the idiosyncrasies that become what your profession is, which is to become an expert at what you do, right? If you don't have that fundamental bottom ground of knowledge, then learning from what the real world is bringing at you becomes more difficult to me. I just think personally,
because everything is not by the book,
right? They teach you, this is
how it is, but once you come out, it's not like that.
Not how it is, And there's a lot of different factors too, right? So one of the things that, for example, I don't feel like you got educated to in school was behavioral management of patients. Like if you have a patient who's great, everything goes according to plan. But if you have a patient who doesn't have that, like the behavioral management is something that you learn out in the field.
But behavior management, what do you mean? Like the patient is inconsistent with what they're supposed to be doing, or
not necessarily that? That too. Compliance too, but how to deal with different personalities, right? So like there are some kids who are very scared. They're scared of what's coming. Obviously we deal with a lot of things like autism and different other issues that become an issue when you're treating a patient. That has nothing to do with their teeth, how they're growing, how their jaws are. It has to do with the person itself. So you have to change the way that you do certain things. So for example, I teach at Nicholas Children's Hospital, and I see all kinds of craziness there and all types of different behavioral problems there too as well. So I feel like in my personal practice, I've become very good at behavior management because I've been exposed to so much different aspects that have nothing to do with orthodontics, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But it just has to do with how to deal with people.
Yeah, you learn that over with experience.
Yeah,
And
sure.
you would say that yourself, like, is there like ways that you have to switch up, like, say, like a checkup
Absolutely.
routine or?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
No, me myself when I was little, I was scared of going to the eye doctor because there was a point where it was really just blue light, like it wasn't
Yeah.
anything, but like my parents thought I had some sort of eye problem, and we went to go check it out, and I see this big machine that you have to lay put eye drops on you, and I was like,
Most of the time, patients are scared, and we know that, and obviously with experience, you learn that you kind of have, like, if I see a child that is nervous, like they're quiet, you see their demeanor, and you kind of go around it.
Yeah.
Every exam is different. Okay? Even though we're doing the exact same thing, every exam is different because every patient is different, and there's adults, grown people
Oh, yeah.
who are petrified.
petrified.
And and you just learn how to deal with that, and it's something that, again, you don't get taught that in school for sure.
No, it's really different because like that the whole machine thing, it's like all big and scary. You look at it, it's like all
And lights
nice,
and
like-
this and drops, and it's scary for
Yeah.
some patients.
Now, let's take a quick break to thank our sponsors. First, we are powered by Manny Cid Automall. Thank you so much to Fred Senra. The location's at 16600 Northwest 57th Avenue, Miami Lakes, and their phone number is 305-455-3510. Next, the person who made our incredible mural, artist Grisel Gajano. You can contact her by texting her at 786-353-8608. And the food given to our team was created by Grusel's Brazilian Steakhouse. They can be found at 7419 Miami Lakes Drive, Miami Lakes. Their phone number is 305-363-5247. Thank you so much, Rufino. And lastly, for our film production crew, Matter Lakes Broadcasting, thank you so much to them, and our roadcaster, who was donated by Enrique Santos. Again, thank you so much, guys. Back to our show.
Well,
Actually, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. There's a question that I have for both of you. So, how has technology impacted you since you guys have started? I'm pretty sure technology was not the same as it is today when you guys started.
It's basically, for me, technology has always been a part of it. But how you do the exams is always the same. The technology is just a tool to help you in diagnosing things earlier. Okay. We have like fundus photography. We have something that's called an OCT machine, and you're able to diagnose diseases earlier on, and show patients. And it's been a great tool for me. But at the end of the day, like, I feel that technology is just a tool. It's not replacing anything that I do personally. And
Yes, I mean, same thing for us in terms of how I treat things. I don't think technology, I mean, granted, we've been out for 17 years, but 17 years in technology is not really, like, we're already like new generation.
Yeah.
We already have.
we had all the new equipment.
Yeah,
we have
all the new equipment. We have the digital x-rays. We
Uh-huh.
had the scanners. That's already our generation. So I don't think it's changed significantly the way that I practice. There are certain things that, yeah, for sure, like a scanner, like it just makes you more efficient in certain things. So it makes things be just more efficient. But has it changed the way that I practice per se? Not really, because at the end of the day, like she said, it's a tool, right? So you can have a hammer and a nail, but if you're not a carpenter, you don't know what to do with all that. So it's the tool is there.
You use it
You
to
just
help
have to
you?
have
Yeah.
the knowledge on how to use it. And to me, what it has done is just it's made us become more efficient at what we do.
Yeah.
So things that used to take longer, when you had to take an X-ray. When I used to be an orthodontic assistant. When we used to have to develop X-rays, we had to hand develop X-rays. Now you take an X-ray, it's on a screen, and you can open it in that screen. I can open it from home. I can look on my phone and pick it up. So it's just become very efficient and very just make it.
It helps also like educate patients better. Like
It's true.
you give them visuals so that they can see. So technology has been good in that aspect to just show them what we're seeing, because before you couldn't do that. And also like what type of like products we offer for our patients. They've been very technology driven in today's world where everybody uses like screens and all that kind of stuff. That we're able to offer them good technology. And the latest stuff, and we kept up to date with everything. So it's been good for us.
So like now that we're at this point where we've already asked a question about Berto, and I'm dry out of questions. My imagination's done here. Let's move it to the students. See if they have anything. Do you guys have anything you might want to ask? Alberto too. Do you guys have anything that you?
Yeah, when you guys started off, did you guys have like any difficulty starting off in your specific career, or like let's say starting off with pediatric orthodontist? Did you ever have any problems starting off, or?
So I practiced for 5 years before opening up my practice. So I think that by the time I decided to open up an office, I actually, both of us opened up from scratch. So we opened up from nothing. And I used to practice down in South Miami. So I didn't really take a lot of my South Miami people up here just because it's a very long distance. But like I said, I also teach in Nicholas Children's, which is in Doral. So I had a good following from Doral into this area. I think clinically, no. By the time I opened up my practice, I could do it with my eyes closed kind of thing. Every once in a while you get a case that makes you really think. But for the most part, I had already been exposed to everything clinically. I think the aspect of owning a business and,
that was what was like new for us.
Yes. Yeah.
We were comfortable in our careers. We knew what we were doing, which I recommend a lot for the young generations. Even, opening up a business is wonderful, but get your foot out there first. You know what I mean? Like, get comfortable, learn, make the mistakes, do everything, and then when you are ready, then take that risk. Yeah, and it just makes it so much easier. So all we had to kind of worry about was, okay, how do we do a business?
How do you run a business? But
how are we bosses? How do
living was already second nature to us. So we didn't have the stress of you get out of school and sure you get taught all this stuff, but you have to learn a lot of stuff after school. And having to do that alongside with having your own practice, I think that would have been very overwhelming. So by the time we're opening up a practice, it was, for one, I had my own mentors, my friends who had already done it. Yeah. I obviously helped my sister along too. Our husbands were very much involved in opening up the business with us. So, it's that's the difficult part.
So just get used to it before you start anything.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Know what you're doing before you decide to make a business out of it.
So have some experience then.
Yes. Right? Experience is definitely key.
Perfect. Do any of you guys have anything else, or you guys are finito? Okay. Perfect. So now we're going into the last segment of the podcast where you guys get to ask me 1 or 2 questions, or whatever you'd like about anything. I'm an open book. So. Okay.
So what comes after this? What's your plan? You've never really talked to me about what you want to do career-wise.
I always dodge that question. Whenever you ask me, I always dodge that question. I'm kind of undecided currently. I'm very interested in music. Recently, I did my own concert for an end of the year show. We played some rock. It was very good. It was very nice. Everyone said it was great, so I'm gonna take their word for it. I was a little unconfident. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna take their word for it. I don't even want to hear back to my recording because I'm afraid that I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna beat myself up over it.
What do you play?
I played Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix, but I played the guitar, the bass, the harmonica, and the piano. I self-taught myself over the pandemic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so...
That's awesome.
I did guitar for a little bit.
Yeah. You never got into it, or you kind of just...
No, I love it. I wish. Maybe one day I'll go back.
One day.
I'll join your band.
If you need me, hey, right here. Experience is the quickest way to get good, yeah.
It's true.
You gotta join the band. But I also have a passion for creating things online, and even things in person. My parents have always taught me since I was little. They've always said, well, you should try to get your education the best you can, and we would hope that you wouldn't get a job that's so rigorously manual. But I find a bit of an interest in it as long as it's like a healthy degree, So I'm thinking maybe something engineering as well. I've always been pretty alright at math, so I feel like that's something I might consider. But you never know, right? You never know. You see where life takes you. My parents wanted to do real estate, and now they own a children's school, so 2 completely different directions. So we'll see where life takes me with that. But yeah.
That's good. And you are wearing your retainers, right?
Every night. I'm telling you right here on my phone. Just to show you. So,
I'm sure you did this right before the podcast.
No, not right before. put the retainers on your teeth or they're gonna get crooked.
Very
I have
good.
it there. I have it there every day at 8 p.m.
End quote, Dr. Crespi.
Yeah, yep, exactly. My mom was always very tight with me with that. She's like, put him on, put him on, put him on. And then, boom, I had him on.
And what's the other thing that you have to do if you're on the screen for a long period of time? You gotta take a
Break.
every how often?
20 minutes.
Yes,
20
good.
minutes. That's gonna be a rough one to remember. But I'll put it on every 20 minutes
Every
as well.
20 minutes.
I will.
Whenever you sit down to do a project.
Whenever I sit down,
Alarm.
every 20 minutes, or your eyes are gonna fall off.
Yes.
Yeah, something exaggeratory. Yeah. Anything else? You guys, or I think we're good.
No, thank you
Okay.
for having
Thank
us.
you for
Alright,
having us.
well, thank you guys for coming on. This was very interesting. What a coincidence. What a
know.
coincidence. The day
I
that
know you were
I
gonna
had
be
to
here
do
today.
it. Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's
awesome.
great.
Awesome.
Do you guys want to shout out your businesses, where you guys are located at? Free reign.
So, Lakes Family Eye Care. We are in West Miami Lakes. And we serve everybody from kids, adults, grandmas, grandpas, everybody. And it's great.
Perfect. And
So Lakes Orthodontics, we're also on the west side of Miami Lakes, and I see kids and adults, and sometimes some grandmas and grandpas too. So, yeah, I treat all.
and one last thing, just off the top of my head.
Yes.
What do you guys have advice-wise for the this new generation now that wants to get into the careers that you guys are in? What do you guys really? What if you had one thing to tell them? What's the central thing you would tell them? That's like, gotta do that if you want to go into our careers.
I would say stay focused. It's a long road. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and you gotta make sure that you enjoy life also.
Yeah.
Don't
Have
rush
a good
things.
balance.
Yes, have a good balance.
Don't get burned out so fast.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel this generation is trying to, get done with AA, get done this, and you gotta enjoy life a little bit. You don't want to get burnt out by the time you're an undergrad. If you want
Gotcha.
So
to
you
enjoy
don't
life and
do your
focus.
school, have fun, stay focused, and
And having fun doesn't mean you won't make it.
yeah,
just-
exactly. And time goes like that. When
Yes.
you're in it, it doesn't feel like that.
But it does.
But
fly.
it does.
That's fine. All right. Well, there you guys have it. This has been. I'm gonna make sure I get it perfect. Carmen Crespi and Maria Briceno.
Briseño.
I'm sorry. But yeah, guys, this has been 305 Vox Populi signing out.